Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's SOC Talks with Joy and Sean. Glad to have you here today. And yep, and here we are in the week Memorial Day already. It's hard to believe, right?
Yes.
Oh, it's crazy, crazy, crazy.
It'll be
So
July 4th, and then it's summer's over.
yeah. Oh, who was
Except
I
for
was talking to
Florida.
someone the other day. It's like in our profession with the cards, it's like, oh my gosh, Christmas in July is right around the
Right,
corner.
absolutely.
And it's like
Absolutely.
right around the corner. Somebody said yesterday, I saw on a Facebook post, they said that it is May 24th. And 7 months from today is Christmas Eve.
Oh, all right.
It's like,
We don't
oh
need to rush.
no.
It goes by fast enough.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it though? It's kind of like all of a sudden, it's like, what? And then I went to a networking thing, Sean, and there was a fellow there. He looks like Santa. He has the beard and the whole nine yards, but he's not like a Santa that you see in the stores. He does a virtual Santa tour. And he's got this video set up that when they come into the school, he'll talk to the kids, he'll turn this video on, and it walks them through like the barn where the reindeer are, or walks them through
Interesting.
the elf
Okay.
area. And it's so
That you're
real. It's
giving
like
he's giving the
unbelievable.
North Pole tour.
It is. It's like a North
Nice.
Pole tour.
Interesting.
So it's
Okay.
like a virtual Santa. And he goes into class, he has people come into classrooms. And I said, did you kind of start this during COVID? And he said, no. He says, I've chosen to go this route even before COVID. But anyways, anyways, okay, we're off on a tangent on the
All right.
Christmas
Well,
stuff.
that's our store for yeah. Yeah, I can't even say it. Show for today.
There we go. But I think we were talking a little bit too, about how to get your point across basically in whether it's your 30-second presentation, your minute, or your 5 minute, or even presenting to somebody. It's like we have to keep it short and sweet, right?
We do. I mean, we used to have somebody that would tell us the more you talk, the less you earn. So,
Well,
and
that's
it's true.
true.
I mean, whether I have 30 seconds each week in my BNI. I mean, that's it. And then we have power teams where I have 3 minutes to kind of talk about what we've been doing or how we can, so you can get into a little more information. And the focus is on you. And you have to know that too. If it's a two-way conversation, like if you're doing a Zoom and okay, do we have a half hour or an hour? And you get on and then somebody finishes at a quarter till and you're like, great, I have 15 minutes to talk about, you know. So it's defining those time frames, your 30-second on, who I am. Here's specifically what I'm looking for this week. And then up down here, there's like the taglines are like kind of poo-pooed on. Like you don't need to end with a tagline. It's just kind of introduce yourself, what specifically or who you specifically looking for this week, kind of why, and hi, Sean, send out cards and sit down. And
Yeah.
then if it's a couple minutes, if you're at, the elevator speech, obviously that you can have with promptings is a little longer. And I think with all of them, you want to kind of leave them wanting more information. You
Mm-hmm.
want them to want to ask questions.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what I always think of. And even if you're doing a presentation for a room, I mean, I just, in today's world, people have extent that gnats, squirrel, we're all over the place with everything that's coming at us. So if you're droning on for 20, 30, 40 minutes and showing them everything you can do, and it's just kind of the initial, whether it's the walk through the card. I mean, what are they've all been talking about. Let's make it simple. Let's make it
Yeah.
simple.
That's
Show
right.
us, show them how
Our
to start.
we've
Answer
we've come
questions.
we've come around to where showing the card, we want to keep it simple, and I know that is something that I have learned because I did want to say, yeah, you got all these fonts over here, you got all
Hey,
this
you can
fun,
add colors. You can add
and
background. You
even
can add
even though you don't have them do it, you're saying it,
right.
and you don't realize that what that's doing to them. You don't realize the mind, where their mind is going. They're back on looking at the site for the first time, and you're here whipping off this, and this, and this, and it doesn't have to be that way. So, Sean, let me ask you something. No matter what the limit, or no matter what the time is when you're having, whether it's a 30-second, a minute, 2 minutes, what are the key points that you want to make sure come across?
I was a little later than you switching to the promptings with BNI, so I changed the name, and I'm like, my typical commercial is, "Hi, I'm Sean Barkley with promptings, helping millions of people to act on their promptings. This week I'm looking for Bob Smith with Keller Williams. With my 8 minute, I kind of went into the, people use promptings and send out cards to, stay top of mind, make it a lead generation, or really build that relationship with clients with the individual cards. And I think I think you've said it a few, when you be at a table and when you put up promptings instead of send out, that kind of evokes questions like, what's that? When you say I want to help people act on their promptings, or your intuition, I mean, however you want to word it, it's your prompting is your intuition, it's your gut, it's your little voice coming from somewhere. You can name it what you want, but it's coming from somewhere that kind of guides you. And we all know, if you don't do it drunk, but if you do it and listen to it, it's going to lead to the life you desire. It's going to lead to bigger and better things if you act on them. And if you're doing it right, and you're using kindness and gratitude, and no expectations with it. So it's kind of throwing those things out there, and then people are like, how do you do that? What do I can I, I had somebody reach out to me a few weeks ago and said, how are you coaching people on promptings? And he's used send out cards in the past, doesn't do it now. He's actually I think it's a financial organization, but it's kind of a network. You can grow teams. So he wanted to, pick my brain for a half hour or so, and just how do you do that? So it is just kind of talking about those things and teaching people. We all think of stuff all day long. We all do. We got that little voice in our head. And it's kind of, do you listen to it or not? Or what the hell is that? And, you move on to something else instead of thinking, what if I did do that? So it's just kind of getting that. That's what I try to evoke out of people, is even ask questions. Well, what do you mean? How can I do that? So,
Yeah, it's interesting, and I've been doing the same thing with, like, I know when I introduce promptings, I always say that I'm a coach and a relationship marketing specialist. My company is promptings powered by send out cards. I do like to get send out cards in there because that's what people know, especially in the business world. And then I go and I talk about, what I kind of hit on maybe the pain points of a company, and what we have to solve those pain points. But those pain points are really, when you boil down to it, it's really about the pain points happen because you're not thinking enough about the other person. You're not thinking enough about your customers. You're not thinking about them. And that's where the promptings comes into play.
well, you're looking, where's my next, where's it coming from, instead of paying attention to that group
Yeah,
behind you.
exactly.
That you think of it, if I take care of them, they're going to push me to whatever level I want to get to. They really are.
Yeah, that's exactly
They're
what
gonna
it
do
is.
more business with me. They're gonna refer me. So we all know it. And again, we've talked about it. Not everybody's going to get it. Not every, oh, you can't do that in the business world. Come on. I mean, I think it's more acceptable nowadays than it's ever been. But you still have some that won't get it, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. And sometimes you give an example. I know, we were sharing earlier, like my BNI group, we're able to do like a 45-second commercial, so I kind of hit the points of who, why, what we solve, and sum it up. And I always end it with promptings helping you to act, appreciate, and contract. I mean, the taglines are right there. You don't really, I don't want to say whether you call it a tagline or not, but at least it's a closing, and it makes sense, and it comes back around. Well, this week, because we had our visitor day, we had quite a few people there, so our commercials had to cut to like 30 seconds.
Welcome to my world. Yeah, it's quick. It goes by quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're used to that, but I mean, I wasn't used to that. I mean, none of us were. So 30 seconds was pretty darn quick. And it was interesting how a prompting came to me on what I was going to do. And, as it turns out, I have a car dealership that did a beautiful card well, actually, let me take that back. A friend of mine's bought their son a car for this graduation. The dealership took a picture of him in front of the car, and they do plaster it all over Facebook. I turned around, took that picture, put it on the front, and spanned in the inside, spanned in front of the dealership, blah blah blah, message from the owner saying thank you, and of course their branding on the back of the card. So I was able to take that, and it was interesting how easy it was to turn that around and say the dealership had a prompting to take a picture and used our system
Yeah.
to send a card. And I said, there's two things that happen with that. I said, number one, the son is never, that 17-year-old's never going to throw that card away. That's a memory for them.
First card.
And number
Yeah.
two, the parents are going to refer their friends because this is what that dealership did for their son.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And
Pushing
I like I said, I worded it around to that was a prompting that they had, to take that picture and to put it on the card.
Yeah, it's just, throw some tidbits out there, and you'll attract the right people.
Yeah, you'll attract the right people. And I think the key to all of it, and I think we're all learning this through the system too, is like you don't have to show them everything. If you keep your you keep your presentation simple, you keep your commercial simple, you keep, there was a day where I said everything. Oh, we print stuff that, da da da, and the whole time.
And the people are doing this. Okay.
Yeah, and then you always know because they come back
And then you're
afterwards
like,
and say,
is this time to shut up.
And they come back and say, is this an e-card? It's
Oh,
like, what part of this did you not
what
hear?
am I not saying? And have shown you all. So that just tells you people listen to about half of what you're saying anyway.
Yes,
So keep it quick. Keep it quick.
Yes.
Whether it's 30-second, be direct on what you want, whether it's your Zoom that you're doing with people or your one-to-ones with people, whether it's showing them how to send a card and showing them how to get started, should not be an hour. You can probably get it done in 15-20 minutes.
Yeah.
Now you have conversation in there and things, and they may have questions. You want them to have questions, but to drone on, oh my God, I sent this perfect card and had the beautiful baby. And when I sat inside, and then she was crying when she got it. And that's a great story. But if you go on for 10 minutes
On that
like,
story.
oh my God, I get it. Okay. So just concise, quick, some points you want to make, and leave them want to ask questions. So.
Right. Yeah. I think that's another thing to remember too. It's not, you don't want them to walk away. You don't, in reality, this sounds odd, but we all do it. At the end of our presentation, what do we say? It's like, do you have any questions?
No. What questions do you have?
That's exactly right. So it's
Yes.
like drawn at, we have a tendency to want to say that, but it's not that, and if somebody doesn't have a question, then you've probably talked too much.
Yeah.
It's not that you
if
did
their
a good
eyes are
job
rolling
and
in the
talked
back
too
of their
much.
head.
Yeah.
No, but with that what question, I've been using that for a long time. What questions do you have? And people are like, oh, gotta have a question. Okay. And you can, and sometimes there's silence. And what questions do you have?
Yeah. Don't say anything.
So, they will. They'll have questions. So,
yeah. Keep them guessing. Keep it simple. Keep them guessing, and it'll be awesome.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right.
Okay. Well, that's a wrap.
Till next week.
Happy Memorial Day weekend. Next time you see us, it'll be in June.
Oh, man. Yeah.
That's crazy. Father's Day's coming.
It is.
Yeah.
I probably will not send as many Father's Day cards as I did Mother's Day cards. So shame on you people for not posting pictures with your dads.
I know. Isn't that the truth? That's true.
It is. I send way more Mother's Day cards. That's okay. Mom's got a special place in our hearts.
That's right.
Yep.
Okay, everybody. Have a great week. Sean, take care of yourself. We'll see you soon.
Right.
Bye-bye.